Hello everyone, welcome to the cozy zone. I feel like we're just having a chat on the sofa. Like, I want a cup of tea. Maybe I should get a cup of tea and then we can like chat visas. Also, my posture's terrible, I'm sorry. Hello. Welcome to another update vlog. I thought I would do it from my sofa today. I'm house sitting for my parents because they're on holiday, so I'm home alone, but things have been happening and I wanted to update you guys. So we've officially gone past the 8-week mark. We are on 54 days until I move to Walt Disney World, which just sounds insane to me. Like, at first, everything was taking so long. It felt like it was forever away, and now it is literally around the corner. I physically cannot believe that I am so close to moving to Walt Disney World, and I'm very, very excited. We're doing another update vlog, and for those who've never seen one of these before, I just make updates sort of as and when things happen in terms of my CRP, because I think it's important to be able to see the steps that go into making this dream a reality, you know? We always show the moving in and the exciting stuff, but sometimes I think if you're someone like me who has a bit of anxiety, likes to know ahead of time what to expect, it's just really nice to have someone, like a little, I don't know, like a big sister to be there and be like, hey, these are all the steps that you're gonna take, and this is how they're not actually that scary, and here's how you can set your expectations, because that's what I'm here to do. So I feel like I could have possibly scared you guys with the last video by saying the visa was the most serious step of the process. It still is a very serious step, but I'm here to tell you, now that I have officially got my visa, that, touch wood, it's easy. And I didn't want to say that until I got it, but it is so easy to get your visa, provided you have the documents, provided everything is all set and all ready and all good on the end of Disney and yourself. So you just gotta make sure that you're super duper prepared. So before I get into talking about the visa in detail, because I am gonna talk in excruciating detail about the visa process, I thought I would update you on one more thing, because I have actually gone ahead and completed my dorms registration. So there's little bits that you have to do beforehand that I didn't even know were a thing, or like I've kind of heard of but are not talked about as much, but you do actually have to register for dorms, which is kind of your housing before you go ahead and move to America. So this is managed by Flamingo Crossings and the American campus communities, and also like Disney's own system. But basically you have to put down your preferences for Flamingo Crossings. You also put in your details so that they can make an itinerary for you, so they can tell you exactly how your moving day is gonna go, what time you're gonna go, and all that sort of stuff. And you get to officially tell them your city that you'd like on your name badge, which is really cool. I didn't know whether it would work like that or would they take it from like my address or anything, but I'm happy because I've managed to put Nottingham down, and yeah, Nottingham is my hometown, it's my love. I grew up in Nottinghamshire, not in Nottingham city centre, but I did moved to Nottingham city centre for university for 3 years, and I loved it there, and I've still lived in Nottingham because it is, I don't know, it's a place that's very near and dear to my heart. It's such a great city, such a vibrant city, such a culturally diverse city, and like LGBT friendly for the most part, so it's just a place that I really love, and genuinely I'm very proud to have it on my name badge and be able to talk about that to guests. And I think it's really important that you pick a place that means a lot to you. So maybe if you've moved around a lot, you know, it's kind of what place feels like home to you. But of course I have pretty much lived in Nottinghamshire my entire life, apart from, you know, the odd time here and there. You know, I moved away for a little bit, but I've mostly lived in Nottingham my entire life. So yeah, you get to put that in, which I think is really, really nice. You also get to put down your preferences for housing and agree to some of the housing agreements and rules, so you get to read over all that sort of stuff and what they expect from you when it comes to housing and what you can expect from them. You can say sort of your preference for whether you want to live with boys, whether you want to live with girls, whether you want to live in a mixed dorm. Of course, you can't pick the girls only dorm if you're a guy, and you can't pick the guys only dorm if you're a girl, and vice versa. So, you know, it's so that people have their preference, I guess, in terms of safety, but I think it also means that people can potentially live with their partners, which is really nice because you can actually pair with one other person. Now, I surprised me. So I could be living with anybody. There's no guarantee that I'll be with anyone who's on the same program as me. I could be living with college program students, so Americans. I could be living with other people who are on the CLP for the other countries. It's entirely up to the system, and I'm hoping that because I've said surprise me, there's more chance of me being put into my preferred room type. I have gone for the 4x4 as my preferred room type. I was thinking about between the 4x4 and the 4x2 for what my preference is, and to be honest, there isn't a huge difference. I just think if I was to choose, I would choose the one with my own bathroom, but I am very happy to share a bathroom. Like, I don't mind at all, and I have no expectation that I'm actually gonna get a 4x4. But if you guys missed my video all about flamingo crossings and the details of the accommodation, I've learned more as time's gone on, but you can choose between a 4x4, a 4x2, or a 2x2 as your preference. They do say that most people will get a 2x2 as that is what most of the apartments are, but you can put preference down, and I do know of people who have gotten those single rooms, so you know, it's better to put it down than to not put it down, if that makes sense. So 2x2 of course is the cheapest option. I think the price difference is like somewhere between $40 or $50 a week, so you could be saving several $100s a month if you're not bothered about whether you have a roommate or not. But since I'm going out for a year, I definitely want to put my preference as a single room, and with my anxiety as well, I think it's beneficial for me to have that sort of accommodation and place to just recuperate and relax a little bit. I could probably cope in a shared room. I would just have to adapt, I think, a little bit more, but that's the whole point. You're supposed to adapt to living with other people and that sort of thing. So it's kind of, you put your preference down and you just see what happens. So anyway, they're all 4-bedroom apartments, or they're all 4-people apartments, but they're not all 4-bedroom apartments. So it's either a 2-bedroom apartment or a 4-bedroom apartment. And in the old accommodation, I'm pretty sure you could share with like 8 people or like a lot more. So sharing with 4 sounds doable, especially with the kitchen situation. So I think regardless of whatever you get, it should be completely fine. And yeah, I think once you're out there, if you really are unhappy with the shared space or whatever, or roommates, you can make requests. But yeah, you just have to make the most of the situation. I think because you're going to be there for a year as well, there could be people coming and going, so you just have to see how it goes. But you can also pair up with another UK CLP person maybe, if you really want to make sure that you're sharing with someone who is going to be there for the whole year. So yeah, it's possible. And you also have to pair up with someone who has the same start and finish date as you if you do want to pair up. So it's a little bit more complicated. You can't just like pair up with someone who's arrived before you, for example. So yeah, it's up to you. So that is everything with the dorms registration. There were other little bits and bobs. It was just mostly putting in your personal details, and I think I am going to be receiving a official itinerary about 4 weeks before. And I have heard of a parcel pending hack where you can like download an app and it will tell you what your apartment number is, and then from there you can work out like where you're gonna be and what sort of rooms you're gonna have. So yeah, I'm just fingers crossed I get the room I want. But yeah, if you have any medical accommodations as well, you do have an opportunity to put in those medical accommodations for housing. So yeah, that's your opportunity to sort out all your housing stuff. But of course you're gonna be guaranteed a room, and if you are on the CLP, you have to live in Flamingo Crossings legally, I think. So yeah, you're just gonna enjoy yourself. So yeah, now I'm going to talk all about the visa process. So this is going to be the bulk of the video. I can see myself talking for a long time. So as I say, guys, get your freaking cups of tea, because I'm going to go into a lot of detail. And the reason why I'm going to go into so much detail is because I think a lot of people are scared about this part of the process, and I just want to make it known, like, every step of the way. I want to cover all the questions. So yeah, if you're someone who's going through the visa, this might be a useful video. If you're curious, it may be a useful video. But yeah, it's going to be very information heavy, so please do sit back, relax, and yeah, enjoy. So in terms of the visa travel day, I'm just going to go from start to finish. So I ended up changing my date for my visa from 1 week before it actually was, because the train strikes were on and I was really struggling to find a train to London. And to be completely transparent, the train that I did end up booking in the end cost like £80 return, and that was with a rail card. So these things aren't cheap. Please do make sure you're still like in a job or like have the funds before you go on the CRP. Like you really do need a lot of money for all of these hidden costs. But yeah, the train return was like 80 something pounds, and that's what you have to do if you're someone who doesn't live in like central London or like the south. If you live in Scotland or whatever, you'll have to take flights. Like trains are expensive and you can drive there, but it's kind of, I don't like driving in London personally, so I was trying to avoid it. So yeah, you do have to pay out a bit of money. So anyway, I got on the train at about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I arrived in London St Pancras station at about just after 9, just before 9, around about 9 o'clock. So it was sort of in the midst of rush hour, so don't expect the tubes to be quiet. I think a lot of the appointments are early in the morning, so you just have to put up with the crowds and the people on the tube if you are taking the tube or the buses. But I did take a direct tube from London St Pancras to Vauxhall, which is a 10-minute walk, 5-minute walk if you're quick and not short like me, and you can literally see the embassy as soon as you come out of that tube station. It's kind of like a mirrored building with loads of like, it looks like sails on it. That's the only way that I can describe it, but it's quite obvious. But Google Maps it if you're gonna get lost, but it's pretty much, if you follow the river all the way down, you'll be able to see it. And yeah, so I arrived quite early. By the time I actually got round to where the embassy was, it was about 9:45, and my appointment was for 10:30. So I wasn't sure if I would be too early, if they'd send me away from the line, but I thought I'd try it anyway because I didn't really know how long it was going to take to get through all of it. I've been warned by people before that the lines can be really long, but I went through the process really quickly. I lined up for maybe 5 minutes. You bring your DS-160 form, I think it's called. That's the form that is your official visa application form, and you'll be using it a lot during the visa process, so just make sure you have that on hand and easily accessible. And then they also ask you for your passport, which please, oh my God, please do not forget your passport. The visa is going into your passport, so please, I know it sounds like a stupid thing, but do not forget your passport, because that's like the #1 thing that you need. So they ask you for both of those things. They verify that you have an appointment, and then you go through to the next guy. And then the next guy is standing at the door, and you have to prove on your phone that you can open an app. I'm guessing it's so that they can see that your phone is actually a phone and that it's legit. I honestly don't know. I guess it's kind of like airport security, where they just are a bit funny if your devices run out of battery. They want to make sure that they're actually legit. But anyway, that's a random thing that I didn't know was a thing, but you have to show them that you can open an app on your phone. And then you go through to security. So it's literally just a tiny room. You give in your badge, you put it over a scanner. It's almost like when you go into the Disney parks, like you just, yeah, put all your stuff through a scanner and walk through a scanner yourself, and then they're like, good to go, have fun in the embassy. You go through another glass set of doors into like a courtyard, and this is where you can chill for a bit if you're super early, or you can go all the way through to the next room, which is like the official embassy. So there's another queue, another line. Get used to it because there's a lot of that in the visa process. But yeah, you get into that line, you have your DS-160 and you have your passport, and you present it again, and they put stickers on both of them, and on those stickers you have your like official number that they're going to use to call you forward to all the different points of the process. So to get you going, because there's so many people, everyone's like assigned a number, right? And they don't want to be saying people's names out loud, so it's just everyone's got a number. Just make sure you remember your number. It's kind of like if you're going to a deli counter and they have those tickets, and then they're like number 156, like it's kind of like that. So yeah, it makes the process really easy. So once you've done that, they'll direct you to the lifts, and then you take the lifts to floor 1 if you're doing the visa appointments. I think there's a different floor for US citizens who have maybe lost their passport or whatever, but the main one is floor 1 for visa appointments. So once you get up, there are loads of chairs and loads of interview booths, and it's quite a nice airy room. It's nice and light, big windows, so it's not too stuffy, so it's not too bad. And then also everyone's quite quiet. Like there's quiet chitter chatter, but it's not too loud or chaotic. It's quite everyone's, you know, there for a reason. It's very official, but it's not scary. Like everyone's just chilling, waiting. One thing I didn't say before is that you are not allowed laptops. You are not allowed any liquids that aren't in a clear plastic bottle, or like not water. I think water is allowed, but other things aren't. So you have to check the website to double check what's allowed. But you can buy refreshments once you're in there. There's a little stand. I bought a Coca-Cola because I just like that bit of sugar in me, because it was like, I literally hadn't eaten yet. So I was like, I need something. So I had a Coke. But they also have sandwiches and snacks and crisps and hot drinks. So if you're waiting around a lot, you can eat food, like it's absolutely fine. And you can have a nibble on whatever snacks you've got if you really want to, like there's no problem. So you go sit down and there's a bunch of, there's a wall of booths. This is how I describe it. And each booth has like a TV screen above it that has a number, and that's the numbers you have to look out for when it comes to when it's your time to go to stage 1. So keep an eye on the TV screens, it'll go through all the numbers, and then your number will eventually come up on that screen. They don't call it out, it just comes up on the screen, so you just have to keep looking, and then it'll tell you which booth to line up behind. So you might see a couple people already in the line. That's because I think they just want to make sure that it keeps moving, so they call people up sort of in threes. So you go up to your booth, they'll ask you for your DS-160, which is that visa application, so the one with your photo on it, the one that says the US consulate or whatever, or US visas, that like official US one, and then you give them your passport, and then they ask you why you're there, like what do you want the visa for. You just have to say something like, I'm moving to Disney to work in Florida, I'm doing a Disney program, and I think they're used to it. Like I'm pretty sure they see people for Disney visas all the time, because it's one of the main visas that exists for like a work abroad in America. So I'm pretty sure there's a mix of that, there's a mix of the summer camps, but for those sorts of things, they're pretty used to it. So they say, oh, are you doing the Q1 visa? And if you are doing the Q1 visa, which is different to the J1 that you do for the exchange program, they ask for your I-797. So make sure you bring that form. That is the form that they send via email. They say in big red letters that you need to bring it and that you need to download it. And that's like the main form for the Q1 visa. So do not forget that, because it could just complicate things down the line. So that is your petition from Disney to allow you to go and work there. And basically they just take it, they check, they put a few numbers in to make sure it's official and not fake or whatever. And then they check that your name is on that list. So there'll be a list of names of people from all different countries. People doing the CRP from like Paris and England and I don't know, Canada, whatever, on that list, and then they just check that your name's there, that it matches your details, so like on the system, your name, date of birth, all that sort of stuff, and then they can verify, yeah, that's fine. You can now go to stage 2. So stage 2 is another line which I stood in for probably about 20 minutes, because it's quite a long line, where they take your biometrics, so you just do fingerprints, and then your thumbprints, and then they're like, yeah, all good. Then you go around to stage 3, which is the interview. So once I got around to that bit, there was no line whatsoever. I went over to a very jolly guy. Again, he asked me what the reason for the visa was. I was like, I'm going to Disney. He was like, do you like Disney? And I'm like, of course I like Disney. And then you hand over all your documents. I will note as well that during the first stage, they asked for my photograph. So do bring one, even though you've uploaded one, because I uploaded one and they still asked for one. So do bring a photograph, and they do have photo booths in the visa, in the embassy, sorry. So don't panic if you really are stuck. You can get a photo in the actual embassy. He asked me a few questions. He gave me a document saying, here's your workers' rights. Your visa has been approved. Have fun, enjoy Disney. That's literally what he said. He was like, enjoy Disney. So yeah, they're so used to it. And the whole process, I would say, took like an hour, maybe just over an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. But I had gotten through to the second stage well before 10:30, which was my official start time. So I think they kind of just assign the numbers as and when people arrive, as opposed to your appointment time. Just as long as you're not like crazy early or late, I don't think they mind. So yeah, I think I got through the whole process in about an hour and 15 minutes, and that was it. Visa approved, had a little explore around London, went home, had a great day. So yeah, don't panic about it. Obviously, there's a few extra steps. If you're someone who's been to America before, they'll ask for your social security, or they might ask for extra documents. Or if you're someone who has maybe lived in different countries, they might ask as well for that sort of stuff. But yeah, don't panic if it's anything extra. It should be really simple, but just remember, you're not there to commit a crime. You're not trying to get into America illegally. You're literally doing a Disney program, so there's nothing to worry about. Like, you're not there to do anything malicious, and if you come across that way, then they're gonna let you come to the States. Like, you're going and you're working in the Disney parks, so they know that you're a nice person, as I said in my previous video. So yeah, that is the process. I hope the detail was helpful to someone. I definitely wanted something like that as I was going into it, but I thankfully had my sister who already did a visa application and went to the US Embassy before for her Universal program, and she's also had to do visas for living in Paris because she lives in France right now. So she's told me 1,000 times visas aren't that scary, so I think I went in with that mindset, and yeah, just enjoy the day. Maybe like go and explore London after. I went and sat by the river and had some lunch. You can I actually walked from the embassy all the way past sort of Trafalgar Square all the way up to Oxford Street, because I just went on a long walk, because I just realized that I was officially going to America, and I think in my mind I was like, I just need to go on a really long walk and I just need to take it all in. And I went into the Disney store, had a browse around, didn't buy anything because I didn't see anything that I really was wanting, but yeah, just go explore. I went and watched some like singers and buskers on the street. It was really cool. So yeah, I don't know what the next step's gonna be. I guess it's gonna be packing and insurance and maybe like a few more random forms, but I don't really know how much left there is for me to say in this series. Like, we're there. We're so nearly there, and gosh, I want to thank you all so much for joining me for this. Like, I think the visa is the most emotional part, because it's like, you're definitely going now. And not that I ever thought there would be any complications, but I think when you get that official like yes, it's great. So yeah, I'll update on the packing and the hauls and whatever, but yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for you all for being here. I want to sort of be realistic and show you what the process is really like, and I hope that this has helped somebody, or will help somebody in the future. It might not be helpful to anyone like right now in this instant, in this moment, because people aren't necessarily doing it right now or whatever, but I know there's going to be people doing visas in the future, so hopefully this will be helpful for you guys. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon for whatever's next. I might genuinely start doing like some mini packing soon of stuff that I don't want to touch for the next few months and just save for Disney, so we'll see. But thank you for watching. Have a magical day, and I will see you very soon. Bye.